Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Garja vs Boneng series. Of course, one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the championship so far, and that is because, of course, both players were the two finalists of PK Clan Tournament 4, of course, the previous big tournament. Both players are PR 40+, and both players have over 2,500 ELO. I would highly recommend watching this one. So, here we have game number 2 in the series, and enjoy the video.
Alright, now we're moving to the second game. We've got the updated score now is 1-0 for Garja after a really solid Aztec game. Now we get to the second little Civ dance that's going to happen here. Once again, the same story as last game. Both players want to find a matchup that they're comfortable with. And with the way Age of Empires 3 works, you got to give that to both players. You know, both players need to have an opportunity to play what they want, what they think is going to be an acceptable matchup. Interesting. Playing Port into German isn't something I would expect. I don't think Garja would ever do this because he's got other ways to just beat Port comfortably. But he might do it. I mean, Port water. The thing about yesterday Garja and myself played this matchup one time for fun, and my Port was not impressive. I'll put it that way. But Port also a pretty weak Civ, so. This would be a really fun matchup, a real good throwback matchup if both players are comfortable with it. Once again, for those people just tuning in, this is the round of 32, not the finals or anything else, but this is the round of 32 of the Spring Championship. Right now the score is 1-0 for Garja, and Garja was playing Aztecs, Boneng was playing India, so both players cannot use those civs in this next game. Looks like we have a match. Spain versus Port. Who would have thought it? You know, we went from the two most OP civs to the two least OP civs just at the turn of a hat. There's a couple civs that are worse than these two, but not many. But I mean, you know, it comes down to, like I said, both players landing on a matchup they're both comfortable with and want to play. And that's the nice thing about us having the tournament have banned out Euro and Auto. We're gonna land a lot more matchups like this, a lot more things people are comfortable with and that are interesting, as opposed to just, you know, the Euro mirror, the Auto mirror, and then some other OP Civ after that. Spain and Port are on pretty equal footing, like I said. All right, I suppose also check the hunts real quickly. I think that's fair. This matches that, that matches that, that matches that, this and that match. Yep, everything's spawned well. Sometimes this map has a little bit of misspawn, but both players spawning with a fair map, which is exactly what Garja intended when he made these. So on the right we've got Garja playing Spain in the red, and on the left we've got Boneng playing Port in the blue. Both players just kind of scouting around the map looking for their first treasures. In the summertime, sheep do spawn, which is a very valuable pickup. We can look to see that start getting picked up by more sheep should be collected by Garja, rather, is what I'm trying to say, because he does have this free war dog with Spain that he gets to start with. And detecting this 135 XP and going for it right off the bat, I like this kind of ballsy play. Interesting. The sheep's not quite moving. Oh, he made a war dog. I like that too, actually, because just because of the number of treasures on this map, this extra war dog is just going to let him plow through the treasures. And this was a little sloppy on Garja's part, letting the sheep go. I'm not sure how he missed that one. But anyway, either way, 135 XP, and Boneng smartly picking up the native scout to kind of close his scouting gap. He can use this native scout to get more of the sheep. And as I was saying earlier, I thought that Spain would win the sheep war, but because of the way, I mean, Garja also being another sheep here, it seems like he's just kind of been a little bit sloppy on his sheep control this game. I can hear it buying. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Leaving another sheep behind, but either way, I think somehow Boneng's managed to win the sheep war, which is, it does matter. Those sheep are free food. Free fast food, especially, because the sheep do gather much faster than the huntables do. It's almost double the speed. And Garja making 4 war dogs here. He's actually converted this food treasure just into War Dog, so this is essentially a 2 War Dog treasure now, which is, I think, fine. I mean, having these 4 War Dogs means he's going to get this XP up here, and, you know, this Nutka is not going to matter, having gotten 4 dogs on the field already. And he's tanking with them as well, which I also like that too. There's no reason to lose Explorer HP. Losing 1 dog here for 160 XP. Plus, he's also getting a lot of XP from killing these polar bears. They drop about 32 XP, I think, each when they die. I wonder if we can find another polar bear to check. There's another one. There's a lot of polar bears. 25 XP per kill. So just from the polar bears alone that he's killed, he's got 150 XP. And we can see that clearly from the fact that Garja's already got a shipment stack. And probably getting pretty close to his next one as well. Oh, he's already sent ATP, so this is his 3rd shipment is in, and he's working on his 4th shipment. I wonder if he's going to drop, when he's going to start dropping these ATPs. I'm guessing now while aging. And I wonder where he's going to try to drop them. Maybe he's going to go for Cray at some point too. I mean, I'm not sure what he's going to do with this ATP. It hasn't paid off in any way yet, but I'm really not sure I feel about ATP. So we'll have to see. It's probably fine because of just how many shipments he's gotten. Going to be able to convert that into an advantage now. But I'm not experienced. I have no experience with ATP after vanilla when TPs got cheaper and they nerfed ATP. ATP is, by the way, is Advanced Trading Post. It gives you a discount on your trading posts and also gives you a small ranged attack on them, and it adds a lot more HP, so they're harder to kill. And basically what we're going to see from Garja is just dropping as many TPs with that as possible. Look at this Nuka Clubman getting in there and saving the Explorer after the age up. Boneng, meanwhile, I've been focused on Garja so much just because of the ATP and kind of his interesting treasuring, but we don't want to miss the fact that Boneng has gone Schooners first, and he is going TC on the water, Boneng style water, and people have said that Garja's maps are not water friendly, but I mean, just this map does have 4 whales, so when the water's mined out, he can have 16 boats on the water still. And there's a lot of fish out here, so the early game fishing is still as good as it ever would be. Native Scout coming in here trying to harass this tower. I don't know if I'd put my tower on the water against Boneng. It just seems like he's the kind of guy where he's good at water. Just okay, I get it. You're good at water. I'll let you have it. I'll beat you on the land later. But I'm not sure. Let's see where Garja decides to put the tower. See if it pays off for him. And I'm not sure he's going to go for it after this as well. Looks like 700 wood. Maybe he's going Stagecoach. I'm not sure. He's got a lot of bills. Is he going to try to contest water now? I'm not sure. This is pretty confusing. Because I'm not sure what else you can really do. He sent 3 bills to build TPs. Wow. I think he's done that just because he knows 2 TPs for Garja and myself and many other people typically means that you're going to go Stagecoach with it. Looks like Garja's just sending this because he's got so many shipments. He wanted to do some more eco and more tech. I don't think he has any intention of making military with this building here. And maybe he does. I'm pretty confused. Yeah, he does. He's making some muskets. Interesting. I'm not sure I feel about that because this is just giving time for the water boom to happen. I mean, this is exactly what Boneng would want. Shipments wise, 5 bill coming in now. Yeah, he's just gonna do kind of like semi FF, I guess. 5 bill, 4 bill is what I expect to see now. But Boneng's just so safe here, and these are super safe behind this TC, and all the bills here are gathering under TC. And he's even got these extra sheep, which are gonna help him ramp really well. 5 musket coming out and going down here. Looks like he's going to try to clean up the tray route with that. Man, that's not a bad decision. I mean, he's not going to get any value out of those muskets up here except for a little bit of bell time. Usually I would say TPs are pretty expensive to walk all the way down here and get, but I think this is a good use of 5 musket. Clearly Garja's just doing things I'm not even, like I don't even know what I would do in this situation, to be honest. So having gotten here, I don't know how I would get here, where I'd have got 8 TPs and this card order of Spain. So it looks like there's 700 gold coming in. He's going to ramp to an H-up instead of the 4-vil. I just thought he could get up with 4-vil, but clearly I'm uneducated because he's barely going to make it up with the 700 gold. And I do like these muskets once again because he did go as Boneng was predicting. He went for Stagecoach, and so this is kind of denying 2 vils worth of resources here. But Boneng, on the other hand, he's ramping into fishing boats, right? And the nice thing about this is we can actually see how many he's got. Typically, Boneng will go for a lot more fishing boats than I would, but I mean, usually you can just go for anywhere from 16 to 20, and then you don't have to delete very many, and it doesn't slow you down too much. But we may very well see Boneng go for way more than that. I wonder if Boneng's hit Fortress now, and I missed that as well. He aged up with a fast guy, so that's my excuse. I wonder where he's going to put the TC wagon. We've got in base. I think that's just he's afraid of Cav or something. Garja is aging right now, and that age up is surely for is either it could be 8 pikes, could be 4 hussar, or it could even be the caravel and the 400 wood. I think that I feel like it's going to be 8 pikes. And Eco Theory coming in for Garja. So he's investing in the long game now with his TPs, and he's putting down the 3rd one. And it's going to make the pass, too. That's really nice for him. I wish we could see what he has them on. I guess we can watch to see if the resources pop up. And it passes for wood. So he's going wood on all TPs, and I'm expecting to see like a 1k wooden boom type deal. But I'm really not sure, honestly, at this point. I could be so wrong. Looks like Boneng sent 5 goons, and he's up by 20 vils, but you have to remember, these vils are fishing boats, and fishing boats do not gather quite as fast as the land vils do. And Garja does have 3 Stagecoach TPs, which adds a 6 to this count. So you know they're close. Just like last game, it's a little bit difficult to do the math on all the vil counts and the TPs and stuff, but both players playing on a very level footing right now. Garja hitting up the Fortress with 400 wood in the caravels, and he's also timed it with the 2 caravel shipment. And this is going to be big because it's going to deny Boneng the right to fish for free. At the same time, it did also cost him a card. And interestingly enough, you know, if Boneng reacts to this and sends 3 caravel of his own or the frigs, we should probably check his deck. Looks like he's got Frig. He doesn't have 3 Caravel. Actually, 3 Caravel is an insanely good card. I am surprised he doesn't have it. He's got the Ronin in there. Maybe we'll see some Ronin action. 3 Caravel do beat a Frig. So, and this tower is going to get a few free shots on it, zoning it out a little bit. It looks like Boneng's just going for a little bit of kite action here with the goons, trying to poke at muskets. Garja's now dropping that TC. And both players can't really leave this. This is kind of like that no fly zone because of the towers kind of set up here. Look at Boneng, just so cheeky with making sure he's going to be on water. He sends vils to his middle island and tries to build towers on it. Maybe he's able to land I can't remember what they call those things, but the ability shot. All the European ships have a special ability that lets them fire a big muster of cannons that do a lot of damage, and so if you're able to get those off, you can do a lot of damage. Obviously, it's a big deal to land one. The European ships are kind of weird. Looks like Garja's really I would say he's really committing, but with Spain, I mean, that's just not a big deal, right? I mean, 1 shipment here or there is not a big deal. And he's really making sure that this tower does not go down, though he needs to. And he also wants to lose no ships, because ships can also be repaired. so close. He loses one, but he does deny these 4 vills on the island from setting up. And meanwhile, these rods are over here fighting with these goons. And I think this is exactly the kind of game Boneng wants to play, which is it concerns me a little bit. I mean, this is, you know, Garja's already lost. Did he lose the other Caravel as well? No, he's got one very low HP Caravel, and he lost another one. And all that was kind of just to kill 4 vills. Yeah, this is kind of Boneng's game right here for sure. So if Garja wins under these conditions, that's a very impressive win for him. Interesting. Boneng actually has a lot of goons right now, in my opinion, and he's also got a lot of vills. So only up by 8 vills on the land, 23 by sea. But those sea vills are totally dead in the water. So that, you know, Garja's boats are paying off now that the fish are gone. Now basically Boneng can only gather with 8 of his 23 fishing boats, which is just another reason why you don't. Look at this. Both players sending villagers to build towers on the island. And this is fine for Garja. Like Garja, if both these towers go up, it's better for Garja because, you know, the fishing boats need to gather, but the military boats can always just walk away. Goon right over here getting caught out by these rods. The Goon is not good at all versus Spain for this exact reason. And that's just another reason why this matchup's really good for Port. Those were, by the way, I missed that, but he lost every single Goon. That's a huge deal. And when I played this matchup against Garja, I did the same thing, only with my Cazadors. So I was like really focused on these towers, and he killed all my military with like 10 rods, and it made me sad. Boneng continued to tower this up, but what's funny about this is the towers do almost no damage to villagers, so both players can just kind of build more towers. And that means that Boneng can't come out here and fish, which is what he wanted to do, and that was his overall game plan. Looks like 1K coin coming in. Just trying to track all this action. You can see, by the way, this is what I'm talking about with why if you play very economically against water, it's very easy to win. So both players essentially tied economically because, you know, you consider the 6 vills and TPs over here. Garja's at 50 vills to 46. I would argue Garja's at an economic lead. He's sending 1K wood instead of 1K coin. Both players going for those crate shipments to kind of bolster their setup here. And remember also, Boneng has 0 military because he lost his goons. And so now, I mean, how do you deal with these rods and everything while you're chopping wood and trying to tower up the water? I mean, I think Boneng got a little over-focused on the water, thinking he could kind of, you know, do Boneng. Boneng's really good at water, so I think he just thought, you know, I can focus on winning that. And Garja's kind of said, you know, I'm going to just put up some towers and call it a day. And if we look at the resources stockpiled, it looks like Boneng is going industrial, which is not surprising. And I'm almost positive that Garja will turn immediately around and just start sieging all these town centers. I mean, it's not even that scary that Boneng has gone industrial off of this, just because he's out of resources now. He's used everything he's had to make it to industrial, and he's down to like 1 moose and 1 mine. And he's with 10 muskets too. I wonder why he did that. Gonna try to sneak this TC out here, I guess, to get more control of the wood. But yes, I mean, he has no way of stopping this. And, you know, Garja can continue to boom and eventually age up himself. The Vill gap is closing, and that, I mean, there's still 23 boats on the map, right? So this gap, like, Garja's now in a commanding economic lead. His Vills are gathering way more effectively. And it's going to come down to whether... Minuteman pop, timeout here. The Minuteman pop here coming out very strong for Boneng, but he also has no military left, so I mean... Ooh, 2 heavy cannons, too. Is Garja going to go for this? I think he's going to go for it. Oh, my gosh. That blast right there is cleaning up like half of his skirms. And you don't want to fight heavy cannons like this, but I guess you have no choice, because you just kind of... Like, if you kill those 2 heavy cannons, you're in a great spot. And... come on. Die. And the heavy cannon goes down. So now Boneng's kind of out of army, and I was rooting for that heavy cannon to go down just because he was just so close. Like, just 2 rods were kind of hitting it away there to finish it. just kind of one goon, I guess, is all the production he's got. He's calling minutes from his other TC, just trying to do anything to stay scrappy here and stay alive. We need to pause real quickly and flip to this to see what's coming. Okay, there's no more military shipments that can come. A monitor coming out too. Boneng just kind of trying to play the water here, I guess. He used that to clean up these, which, I mean, he might be able to get back on water, but at what cost? You know, I mean, sure he's industrial, sure he may get back on water, but he's got all of his villas are just stuck in the corner. Like his mine is out now, and all he's got left is just wood. And he can't even afford to make villas right now because he's got no food income. And meanwhile, Garja's just kind of packed out the 3 more falconets to really push down the siege. And you know that each cannon here is essentially increasing the speed at which Garja's going to be able to clean up the map and basically put Boneng on a shorter timer. I think he sent goon range, did he? Maybe not. I don't know. I wouldn't have sent goon range, but maybe he had to because he's got no place to put his factories anyway. He's just out of real estate. When this mine dies, I guess it's kind of a good thing because he can put a factory there. That was really nice by Boneng. He's just been kind of poking away at that one falconet and finally was able to clean it up. But you know, there's still 4 of them. They're still working their way across the map, and Garja's now been able to send improved warships. And I would like to see a native TP. Yeah, goon range did indeed come in. And both players just kind of, I mean, trying to stay alive here, I guess, for Boneng, but Garja's just continuing to ramp. I mean, economic cards are coming in now. He's getting a ton of XP too from killing all these buildings. And how is he affording? I guess I understand how he's able to afford that, but he's not going to be making very many of them. Look at all the resources he has, actually. His fishing boats have gotten going again. And Boneng's not out of this game at all. He is posturing in a very defensive position, but he is not totally dead yet. Killing the stable would be huge, actually. He's got no more production beyond that. Oh gosh, no. This is a huge catch. This is all of Boneng's military right here, and it's going to get caught. That chanting has killed the audio. But yeah, the stable going down. All the goons are dead. And Garja kind of coming out in the... I'm not sure why he's coming out here, of all places, feeling the need to do that. He's just kind of thrown away his ships, but it just does not matter. He's got such a command on the land. This TC means absolutely nothing, and he's just going to continue to pour out those H3 units, not opting to age, but his resources are going to just kind of naturally stockpile as he starts to max out his population here. And he honestly could even be taking Cray TPs and booming with those too if he wanted to. I mean, really, he can do what he wants at this point. And the score gap is starting to grow again for the exact same reason as the first game, where you know Boneng kind of aged when he couldn't. He was not able to age in that position, but he did it, and you know Garja reacted appropriately. And this is just kind of like that really high level of play where you know the way that getting punished is it looks like this. Like it's a slow and kind of painful punishment. It's not immediately obvious to us as viewers, you know, why that happened. And all these skirms just kind of pushing all these villas into the corner. He's gonna have to pop them into this monitor, I think, and then take them to Garja's side of the map or do something funny with them in order to get them alive. Look at this! This is gonna kill them all. This is gonna kill all those villas. Look at Garja getting really aggressive with his ships. If this thing is able to pull off the shot, oh, it all landed on the island. That's fine. I mean, there's more villagers than there are trees on that island, so I think that's a win anyway. Ooh, Ronin popping out on the rods. Oh my gosh. Ronin are incredible, by the way. They have incredible stats, and people don't realize how good those stats are. I mean, they have a 58 attack with a splash of 2, and they have a 40% hand resist, so they kind of clean up anything they touch. Look at, I mean, Garja's got enough ships though that he's able to just kind of fight this out. And his eco is so good too. He's going industrial now. Right now he's going to pop industrial. And you know, sure, these villas are building towers, but those towers are not producing resources whatsoever. and neither are the fishing boats that are kind of wandering around here. Garja's now got 91 vills, and they're all working. Versus, Boneng effectively has 4 vills right now. Effectively has 4 vills. 5. He's got 5 vills. He somehow has a lot of food, but he's only got 5 vills, 6, 7. So I think we're just kind of waiting it out at this point. I like that he's at least trying to do something with the Ronin. ATP kind of coming in handy here, making them harder to kill. I think Boneng kind of knows he's in a lot of trouble. When you're Ronin raiding, you know that you're not where you want to be in the game, and the score gap is just going to exponentially explode here now that all these vills have idled out. Boneng trying to move him back over, but it takes so long to do that too. I mean, this is just more time spent not gathering. And Garja's honestly fine just to chase these guys around the map for as long as he wants. He didn't shoot. He did not opt for industrial, by the way. I thought he was going to, but he opted for a few more rods just to keep Boneng belled up. Also dropping arsenal. We could look at improvements. We should do that. He sent advanced arsenal. He sent hand infantry hit points, and that versus the Ronin. And you can see already that he's getting upgrades for ships. He's getting mercantilism, so he can get even more shipments. And he's sending a whole bunch of upgrades for his infantry. So basically, he's just kind of trying to close out the game by booming as hard as possible on every front. He's teching, he's booming, doing everything right here. All the way maxed out at 99 bills, so now it's definitely just a matter of time. And you can see, because he's got 2 players' maps worth of resources, so you can see he hasn't had to drop a single mill or a single plantation, and it's 25 minutes, and he has 99 bills. So that's the power of having land. Like all this water play is just kind of trivial at this point with the land control he's got. Look at this, sneaking this factory here. I wonder if these rods can see it. He's gotten gas lighting. If he gets the one that gives his units more vision, I'm not sure which one it is. There's 2 of them. If he gets that one, I bet you he could see it. But just continuing to tech. Oh, he definitely sees it now, and he's probably smiling to himself when he sees the factory there. Interesting. I'm not sure he must see that. I mean, this game in particular is just... He's made some fishing boats too. I'm not sure why. I don't know. These might be bad manner fishing boats at this point. Maybe he's just trying to boom even harder. He's going industrial. I would love to see him go imperial. I really would. Just to kind of total, and he can also build this TP now. It would be funny. He should have probably built that, but I mean, just a really flawless game. And look at this. This card is a card many people probably do not know what Unction does. Unction allows your missionaries to give more attack to nearby units. So that's this ore that's popping up, and it's substantial. Having 10 of those is incredibly substantial, and it's an ultra late game type of tactic. I bet you Garja engineered this deck just to play against Boneng on water. So he probably slipped that card in there, and you can tell, yeah, this is designed to play against Boneng. I would like to compare the attack of a... Let's compare the attack of a normal skirm at 16 to 4 Unction. You can get up to 10 of these guys stacked as well. That's the limit on them. So we went from 16 to 19 with just 4 of them, and that's a huge increase. The entire game actually revolves around either killing these or securing key points on the map. So losing that's big at this phase in the game. And I think we're just going to see Garja, he's going to get upgrades, and he's just going to continue to just hold his lead, right? I mean, he doesn't have to spend any resources on military because he's already maxed out and has no way of losing units. And Boneng, kind of realizing he's been starved out of the map, has decided to resign. That would be 2-0 for Garja, and very well played by both players. Just a difference in style. Just a difference in style. Well, yeah, Garja plays that more style that we're familiar with in the Western or European scene, where we're very comfortable playing more standard, and just kind of controlling the game. And I'm really glad that we're going to see some of these games be played by Garja, because I know a lot of players out there really struggle with Boneng's style of play, and water in general. And this game, Garja did such a good job making water look weak, which we don't see very often. And I think we should look at all resources gathered. This entire period of time was when the fishing boats were gathering and the village looked substantial. But it really, it clearly wasn't, right? I mean, the resources gathered were about equal. And this is when the fishing boats got blocked out. You see this call to go industrial led Boneng, or forced Boneng to stop gathering, and this split happened. And from there, it was just kind of, more vills, more of everything, and that's how the game was decided.